You had mentioned you had gotten yourself some new kind of cattle?
These are called RX3 composite cattle, which is they're 1/4 Hereford, 1/4 red Holstein, and a half red Angus. So that takes the milking ability and the growth rate of the Holstein and the easy keeping qualities of the Hereford and the meatiness of the Angus and puts it into a composite. And well, we are now, our other cattle, we do not castrate the bulls, because I think that's foolishness, because people want lean meat, and castration makes fat meat. But the next thing is to get a young bull that would be 12 to 13 months of age and grade choice.
Yes.
And so with this breed, we're going to come awful close to getting that done, so that we've got a young product and lean and with good fast growth rate. So it's a balance of not trying to go to any extremes. I've been through that. I used to be on judging teams and place this steer at the top of the class because he's the fattest, lowest, fattest, short-legged, thickest over the top, and then we've gone to where some of the cattle look like they should be in a horse class. So they're somewhere in the middle. And we tried to do this. Well, I've been through this with the hogs also.
Oh, have you?
Yes,
Okay.
I've been through the extremes.
And the big ones and those.
And the little ones. And so, along with the hogs, I'm talking about balance, with the system of a Cargill system of outside individual farrowing houses, that's
Isolates,
all in.
is that what they're called?
Yes, all in and all out. And not using antibiotics. We use egg lime on the floor to raise the pH, to balance the organisms. And then we do not use any disinfectants. We vaccinate only for what we need, and that's been working for 11, 12 years now, and not perfect, but no major crisis. And I think that's some troubles we get into agriculture when we try to get that last nickel out of everything and push, and we're so close to the end of the side of the cliff that it's awful easy to go over the side and lose 50 cents or $5. So I'm trying to get up close and be content.
I read where one of your losses had to do with the bad winter you had here several years ago when you lost some of your pigs, and that you had gotten around that by installing heaters in your...
Okay. That was in a nursery, and that has evolved since that time. That we have learned that we tried to put in gas heaters, and that's very expensive, so that had to go. So then a friend, a personal friend of mine, told me about hanging burlap sacks across the front.
Just plain old burlap sacks?
Yes. And there was quite a technique of how to do that, because pigs would chew them up, so you had to put new pigs in with new sacks. You couldn't put old pigs with new sacks.
And you found that out the hard way, I suppose.
And then a friend, or our first herdsman, came up with the idea of using truck mud flaps across the front.
Those big, heavy...
black things,
black things,
yes. And that's been the best one so far. The pigs can't destroy them.
Right.
And they learn how to jump through between those flaps over the bedding board, and they've got a foot of bedding for them to lay on.
So they act as insulators?
Well, it keeps the draft off. So then they'll lay out and won't pile in the back.
Which is what
happened that year. So they're comfortable, and it keeps that cold air out, but still enough ventilation out the top that the moisture, and we'll have natural circulation that's dry, and they just lay in there nice and warm, and it can be 20 below zero. So we learned some of those things the hard way.
So out of a problem, you found a solution, an innovative solution to
problems can be opportunities for change to the better.
I read where that was one of your basic beliefs, and I can certainly hear it in what you're describing, what you do here on the farm, If people were watching this tape, as they well may be, from other countries or in this country perhaps, just down the road, somebody wanting to know about starting a different way of farming, using different techniques, what kind of advice would you give them?
Go watch somebody else close as possible, because there's differences in soil types and climates. You can't run to California to learn how to farm. In Iowa, you can go pick up some ideas, but it would be better if you could find somebody closer who has maybe moved into some new ideas in the direction that you would like to go, and ask lots of questions, go to workshop, go to field days, find literature.
Not expect, from what you told me before, not expect to find one certain farm or farmer down the road or in the next state that you could copy exactly.
That's true. So you adapt. You do not adopt anybody's complete program. Adapt. You take pieces. You sort. Take the good here and see how it will fit in your situation.
And try it.
And try it on a limited basis.
Aha. So you don't advise just going cold turkey and changing your whole farm overnight.
That's right. And then the next step, if you can't get things sorted out, that you would try a technique, if it's possible, without spending a lot of money. Put in some strips. You try this practice versus your old practice, and see what that tells you. Because if you just do it half a field, the new practice, and half field, the old practice, by chance, the new practice may have been on the better ground, and it would give you a false answer. If you do this enough times, you take out that error so that you find out the truth as soon as you possibly can, and then a couple years of doing that would even be better.
Sure. You say other farmers, to look to other farmers. You don't advise people to try contacting their extension agent or their local university or agriculture department?
Okay, you're putting me on the spot, aren't you?
Hey!
So, in the years past, with these new ideas as far as sustainable agriculture, the farmers were the only place to go. That has all changed. So we've got a whole new array of information that I think it's a real privilege that an extension director in Ohio is using our slides and our tapes.
Congratulations.
And so it goes both ways. And so that here in Iowa, I think there's some things that are happening, that some of this information through PFI and the Cooperative What Farmers Doing is coming out in Iowa State University bulletins. And that the farmers, like I told you before, this door is open now. The researchers are going out and the farmers are going in. It isn't competitive anymore as far as sustainable, if we're going to use that word, agriculture is concerned.
I like that word.
So it's a lot better situation now than it was some years ago.
It must be very gratifying to you after years, I'm sure, of feeling fairly much alone. Very much a pioneer, you and your wife.
Well, sure, yes. And we've got a long ways to go, so there's more things to do, so we get on with it.
You've come a long way. I was looking at your latest report, and I had not realized that you were cited by President Bush in the most recent Earth Day, 1990 Earth Day. Was it a particular acknowledgement of the role that you have played in sustainable agriculture?
There were 22 categories in this Renew American Finding Success Stories, and ours was in pesticide reduction, is what the recognition was for. So we got to go to the Rose Garden and
at the White House.
And to see President Bush. And not only did he come out and say a few words, he said very few words, and then we all got in line and got to go by and shake his hand. And from what we were told, he does not do that with every group that comes to the Rose Garden. So that was real neat. Well,
it's certainly something that seems to be deserved, and I'm glad that it happened. And you said you saw Bob Rodale there?
Yes, that was the last time I saw Bob Rodale.
A great loss to all of us.